Shut up and sit down.
It's where the big boys play. SICW.
That's what I just heard. Like he wanted to do all the talking.
I heard that Jim was dressed up like a gay cowboy watching Bill Murray, so people were looking at him in the crowd.
Oh, you heard right. I can confirm. There's a rhinestone cowboy at that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Right, Ben Campbell.
That's Stephen E.
Stephen E's a rhinestone cowboy?
No, riding the camel.
Oh. I say Glenn Campbell, but if you want to ride camels, you can.
Oh, I heard camel.
Of course you did, you perv.
All right. Let's get this show on the road.
Welcome to Square Reef Podcast, everybody. Episode 123. So, I heard you guys had a hell of a weekend, yeah? And those that listened to our little banter beforehand? Jim had a really good week.
I think it was a packed house. I'm sure if you don't have the picture, I can send it to you to put on the screen now, but like that crowd was huge.
I do.
It made its round all around Facebook, so I didn't know if you already had it or not.
Well, not that one. There we go.
That one.
Look at that.
You see that little ring in there amongst all those people.
Yep.
So what made this even better was like right before we hit the ring, Bill Murray was on stage and he was singing. He's got a nice little group, and they weren't bad. If you heard some reviews from their show that they did, I guess a couple months ago here in St. Louis, a lot of people had negative reviews about it, saying that the song selection sucked, the voices were bad. But honestly, I think it must have been a bad night for him because he rocked the stage that day. It was.
And that's what my opinion going into it was, not to expect too much because of his age. I figured his lungs weren't going to be that great.
There you go.
But like you said, he wasn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was 70s, hard rock. Not even hard rock. Some of the songs were just classic rock. I guess it's a better way to define it. But he had a decent crowd. But once he got over, everyone that seen us wrestle on Saturday's show definitely wanted to know when we were going on Sunday. And the crowd just tripled in size. Because literally, if you're looking at this picture, from the right side of the ring on back towards the left of the picture, those fans weren't there for Bill Murray. And Bill Murray was literally on the right side, just a little bit past this picture. And just as soon as he got over, they announced that as soon as his last song was over, they were going to start the wrestling. And literally, they just came up in droves, which was...
Well, that's what... on Saturday, the day before, the first day of the shows, I ran in to save Curtis. They didn't announce my name or anything. There was one family, the Menders, that were our regular fans that I saw. Everybody else was just repeats from last year, and they still were yelling my name without being announced or anything. It was a good set of fans there. Not just in volume, but they were good fans. They remember things.
Yeah, you set up the ring closer to the beer this year too, huh?
Yeah. So,
also to the left on that picture, you go down a little bit, was the bourbon sampling. I may or may not have gone there after each show.
it wasn't really.
You're over 21.
It really wasn't bad for the crowd because they had a lot of free stuff going on too. So they had free samples of barbecue sauce, but they gave you free barbecue, to go with
that
the
was
sauce.
Blue Hog barbecue, which is really good. I've bought their bottles a few times at Schnucks.
Monster, of
Got a
course, was
few of
handing out
those.
their drinks. There was a chip vendor that was handing out
J- Jailhouse, Jailbreak,
yeah,
something like that.
jailbreak, I think
And
it
I
was. So,
I heard him say that those were on the mobile at the mobile on the runs.
yeah, so I mean, there was a lot of free food and free drinks for people. Then, of
The
course, Bill
bourbon
Murray
was
and
Rebel
us.
Bourbon, if we want to drop that.
Yeah, so I mean, it was pretty damn cool. The radio. I was listening to the radio Monday, and they were talking about it, and that Sunday they considered it a sellout crowd. They said that they sold more tickets than they had seats, which is always a good thing, because anytime you have a standing room crowd, you did something right. So yeah, what was it called? The Illinois 300 was a huge success for NASCAR and a huge success for SICW. But
I
as
say, if we want to say how successful this podcast was, we
well,
had that
with
battle royal.
yes. So what ended the second wrestling show was a battle royal where all the wrestlers. Matter of fact, I was the match before the battle royal, and so I defeated my opponent, which was the assassin. I think he might have been called the super assassin. I'm not 100% sure, but I stayed in the ring because literally as soon as my match was over, they started, bringing out everyone for the battle royal. So literally, I had no pause between my match and the battle royal, but it was still a very good battle royal. I think me and some other guys, attacked my old tag team partner pretty well. Waco, he got pretty beat up in the battle royal, but so that's always a good time when you can do something to your old foe. But yeah, so
Yeah,
we
but
had the
Bobby
likes of
said the podcast did well. So who won?
Well, I took a different strategy, a little gamble, and it paid off. I didn't wrestle a match and save myself for the battle royal, and I came home with the title.
Oh, damn, 3 belts right there. You got to
I
bring that in the
can't keep the reflections off it. But like you said, it's the Illinois 300. I guess we can balance it out there for a better picture. Illinois 300, first ever battle royal champion for him. So honor to be that.
yeah,
Awesome.
It
and
came down to me, Super Assassin, because Texan didn't take him out of the battle royal for me.
Shame on you.
I mean, he
he
only
took
took him
me
out of
out.
matches, not the battle royal. So it was me, Super Assassin, Glenn Williams, Steve Fender, and Attila Khan. To say the least, the deck was stacked, and
Yeah,
just
one
through
baby
a lot
and the
of
rest heals.
a little bit of running on my part, I'll admit, like dropping down and pulling the rope when I'm getting
Hey,
charged at,
Bobby,
and a little bit of sticking and moving like that.
hold on. Let me set the stage a little bit better. So when the
Besides him
battle
running
royal
around with hair on fire.
when the battle royal started, there was like 5 heels, and it was the same guys he just labeled off: Attila Khan, Steve Fender, the Super Assassin, Glenn Williams. I can't think of another one that was there. So 4 heels. The rest was all baby faces, and I'm saying we had me, we had Bobby D, we had Curtis Wild, we had Billy McNeil, we had Jason Breed. Let's see, we had Joey
John
Vanetti.
Vincent, but I don't know if I count him as a face.
So we had more, if you would say, babies versus heels in that battle royal.
But
And
all
it
the
turned
heels went
out
to the end.
all the heels went to the end. So all the heels got rid of all of us except for Bobby D. Now, Bobby, the stage is set.
Well, I think they took a page out of the normal playbook, the good guys, and they teamed up and created a little alliance there. So I think that's where they got so far, because that's what it was. It was one with like a Super Assassin. He tried to throw Glenn into me, and then Glenn tried to throw him into me, and I was able to flip him over to the outside fought with him, and then I saw Glenn charging at me. You know, I moved out of the way, and he was able to hit Super Assassin down to the ground. So there's a lot of double teaming, and on my part, honestly, it was a lot of being
Luck.
smarter than them, we'll say. A little bit of luck and being smarter, and picking my battles there. And then when it got down to me and Glenn, boy, it ran through me like electricity. We met in that ring and just started beating the crap out of each other.
Good.
Until I was able to get him over. He hung out on the apron, gave him 4 good chops while he was on the apron until it knocked him off.
Even better. But yes, so
So,
now
well,
this,
well, let's put this in perspective for our viewers that are going to watch this. We have a belt in the back there that is the Shriner's belt, which the podcast has done well on. Jim was the first one and second one, and Bobby was the third one to hold that belt. And now the Illinois 300, the first iteration, the podcast did well again on Bobby's holding that. So next year, Jim, we need the podcast to do well again.
yes, and that's what I was just about to say too. Now that belt is actually Bobby's to keep. That is his. It is dated, so it is just a one-time use belt for that night. So next year there's going to be another belt, maybe another battle royal to for that belt. So that is Bobby's. He is the first and only one to win that belt. So yeah,
Freaking awesome.
definitely a very cool honor there.
I say
But,
it will be going up on the wall, and then next year there'll be one hanging on this wall and one hanging on that wall.
Better be.
There you go.
I mean, assuming I don't win it again.
Right.
I'm pretty good at battle royals. I don't know if you guys have been able to tell that.
Yeah, did you have the cup 3 times in a row?
Cup twice.
2? I thought you were
Yeah.
3 times.
Only person's ever
Or
done
am
it
I
twice.
am I just counting Jim's first one or when he got it? Because you've had it
Could
once,
be.
right?
Yeah, I've had it once. I'm actually the only belt I have not held is the Central States, and Bobby's held that belt.
But I
So I
haven't held the tag titles.
Yeah, so we're one belt away from having a grand slam, each one of us, in SICW. Matter of fact, SICW just got a new website finally with a person running it, which I might add, it's about time because we were in like the dinosaur ages when it comes to that. But so I was in the process of updating, my personal page for them, and I was running through everything. And I know I didn't put some of the belts that I've won because to me, some of the places that I worked at that won those belts, it's okay if they're not on there. You know what I'm saying? But
down the road.
yeah, it just me and Bobby's both our storied careers in the wrestling business, man. It's been crazy because multiple tag team champion in multiple different companies. I've been a heavyweight champion in 2 different companies. Multiple battle royal champion in multiple companies. I think I'm the very first one to win the Bruiser Brody Battle Royal and the Lou Thez Battle Royal. So I mean, it's a lot of firsts and a lot of great achievements in it. It's stuff that you don't sit back and think about until you have to do something like this, where you have to write down, your profile or your achievements to put on a website or something, and then you
Well,
can.
I should get you guys to do that too for our Instagram page, and then I can pin it to where everybody who follows can say, "Hey, get to know the wrestlers on the
Yeah.
squared ring."
So I mean, it's definitely cool, and more props to Bobby because being the first was the word inaugural
Yep.
Illinois 300 champion. Because this is something that this racetrack has been trying to get, not just the belt, but I'm just saying this particular NASCAR event, and to be able to sell out for the show, and then basically being the first one to win this battle royal. I mean,
It
it's
helps
just
when
amazing.
you're a global company with billions of dollars. You can kind of get the races you want.
Yeah, yeah. But
Well, I think this was more of the track was trying to get this
yeah,
from NASCAR, like getting NASCAR to give it to them.
Yeah.
Now I know the track has a lot of money too, but
right.
Yeah.
But you're only as good as the last show, and we have a new show coming up this Saturday. It's in Sandoval. It's for our good friend referee Bill Hinson. He is in this district. I forgot his actual title, but he's basically a counselor for all the students at the school that we're going to actually do this show for.
I thought he was a wrangler.
Yeah, so that's this Saturday. So if you're in the Sandoval neighborhood, it's going to be a cool show, big fundraiser. Last year, I think, or maybe it was the year before, because we've done it a couple of years now. Bob Orton was there one year, it's going to be a great show, So I'm going to be there. Bobby, you're going to be there. You're going to defend the title.
I don't know who I'm defending it against or anything, but I will be there. I'm looking at the poster. They got Greg Anthony featured on it again, and Bushwhacker Luke.
All right.
Oh,
So
okay. Looks like
from what I gather from so dropping news, I guess you would say, we might not see Bushwhacker Luke there, just because he's been in the hospital here lately. I know he was in the hospital over the weekend. So I know it's up in the air. I can't say yay or nay on it, but we'll
was
we'll
he
just
having
by here.
heart problems again?
Well, Butch, his tag team partner, just passed away like a year or two ago, and Luke, we got to see him in Vegas, and he was talking about how not all of his problems, but he was letting everyone know that he's not in the best shape anymore, and he's got to make sure he takes his meds on time. And he was preaching that about Butch, and that he feels that that's the reason why we lost Butch, is because he left his medication at home, and then he flew to a signing that they had at some other Comic-Con, and with him not being able to take his medication, and I guess he didn't realize that you can get, if you got like a CVS or a Walgreens, you can get them transferred and get those meds, if that's even the reason why he passed away. But either way, Luke is always trying to do the healthiest thing, so to just prolong his life and his health. So if he can't make it, totally understand.
When he was in Vegas, like, yes, he's older, but he actually looked like he was in pretty decent shape for his age.
Yeah. So I am actually going to head down to Sandoval on Friday, and if you're in that school district, or if you have a kid in that school district, I will be at the school. I am going to be doing an anti-bullying speech there. Evidently, it's the kind of like their program that they're talking about heavily right now. And so, I've done a few at a couple other schools. So I got asked and totally accepted right on the spot to head down there and talk to the whole assembly of all the classes about anti-bullying. And
That's awesome. Just don't put in there how you bullied Waco this weekend, yeah?
that's true. I probably should not talk about that.
Probably not. Might go against the overall message.
Yes.
Yeah, the ethos, might have a problem.
All right. So yes, on to other news here. Let's see here. I got a few things I want to talk about that we started talking about last week on the podcast. We talked about Brother the Love Sponge and his documentary video, The Video That Killed the Radio Star. Of course, it's about Hulk Hogan and the sex tape and who actually released it. You know, and Bubba says that he was not the one, that it got stolen. So Friday, this past Friday, was their big opening day, I guess you would say, where they um, rented a theater and let people come in and view it. But now it's going to be on Apple. Yeah, so you're going to have to log into your Apple account to actually see the video. But the big takeaway is Brooke Hogan showed up to it and stayed, watched it, and defended Bubba the Love Sponge at the end of it when she was being interviewed by the press, saying that she don't know why Nick Hogan is suing Bubba to prevent this from being out in the public. Now, sometime this week is when you're going to have access to it on the Apple devices. But as of right now, they only did the viewing once on Friday. But she is totally defending Bubba the Love Sponge and said it has everything that you need to know about it, about that whole situation. And it's the same story that her dad told her about the situation. So she is saying that she defends this documentary, and that if Nick Hogan would just take the time to actually watch it for himself before automatically throwing in the lawsuits and everything, that he should see it and he would too agree, because she says it vindicates her dad, vindicates Bubba the Love Sponge, and talks about who should have been punished but didn't get charged at all. So, you know, I can't wait. I will probably want to watch this just to see. Now, she is saying that, well, now she's not saying this. Bubba said one of the lawsuits that Nick Hogan, because there's multiple, one of the lawsuits is because Bubba the Love Sponge was actually going to put a clip of the actual sex tape in the documentary. And one of the lawsuits was to prevent that. So he did take that portion, that clip, out of the doc this Friday when they showed it. But definitely going to be looking to see that this week whenever it actually releases on Apple.
Yeah, but was Nick a part of that clip? I don't see why he has to throw in his skinny little ass into determining what can and can't be in a documentary. Has nothing to do with him. Yeah, his mama, but had nothing to do with him.
Yeah, so he's working on part of. Man, they said it. It's like I'm going to butcher it. I'm just going to say Team Hogan. There's there's a group of people that are like that are dealing with the Hogan. Yeah, what's it called? Like
State.
yeah, kind of like the estate. There's, from what I gather, and it
So
was
it's brand polishing, and that's it.
yeah. So
He's doing it for future considerations for what he got from the will and possibly the name of his dad.
well, yeah, he doesn't want the video to be out there to show his dad in a compromising position.
It's already out there.
Well, it is, but it isn't, because initially it came out, so some people seen it, but immediately got pulled, and it's either way, it's supposed to be illegal to actually see it or to actually have a copy of it.
Everything's on the internet. The internet never forgets. So
True. All right, so that's the update on Brooke Hogan and Bubba the Love Sponge. There is an update on what we post about The Rock and his sudden weight loss. So there is a place that I follow on YouTube called WrestleLamia, and evidently they were told that The Rock's sudden weight loss was due to a role that he's now filming, and he's playing a character. They didn't go into details about the character or the details on the movie, but his name in the movie is called Chicken Man. Um, It just sounds really, really stupid. But so the sudden weight loss, which he looks very bad, even though he might be healthy in some sort of way. But he's actually claiming that he needs to lose more for this role. But from here on out, he did say that he's taken on more serious acting roles. So it's not going to be like an action, packed movie, kind of like Fast Too Furious and stuff like that, how he was in a couple of those movies and the spin-offs, or the G.I. Joe stuff. He's going to be taking more roles that mean more to him. So this is his first way of doing it. So we'll see if this pays off. A lot of people were talking about that they thought this weight loss was for that current movie that he's in where he's playing the UFC guy. And everyone was talking about how, since he had to dramatically lose all this weight, he's automatically going to be in the line for an Emmy and all this stuff. Well, it's not for this role. If you actually paid attention to the movie, the guy he's playing is a pretty built guy. He's not this version of the skinny chicken man Rock that we're seeing right now. So just an update on that as well. I wanted to try to get an update on what's its name, Psycho Stu, and the whole Jackson type of thing, but there is no update. So as far as we know, his son has still not been arrested. The only update I guess you can say is that his dad come out and said that the cops need to come interview my son and get the correct details and the correct side of the story. But as far as we know, that's not happened. So we really don't have an update to that.
Not a surprise, Rampage putting out bullshit, just like his son, saying that the correct version is Raja's version and not what everybody has seen over and over and over again from the video. The video is the correct version.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even if it was just the clip of him doing what he did in the ring, should still land him in jail. But all the live feed streams that he was doing up until that point where he was talking about how he was going to do it, which is, in my books, premeditated.
But like I said before, coming from a California guy, LA are a bunch of weak-ass little boys as far as the law enforcement. I know a lot of law enforcement in LA, and they don't want to be there either. Because you can't arrest criminals.
My thinking on this is, if he's saying they need to come interview him, that means they haven't done shit with him.
Correct.
And
why does he want the police to, like, his boy's getting away with it? You should just let it fade.
Yeah, should shut his mouth and let it go. Yeah.
But I've heard others say that they're going to arrest him coming up. And one thing about LA and their prosecutor and all that, if they haven't arrested you when there's millions of people watching the violence, they're not going to. They're not going to do it. He would have to be an innocent victim. It wouldn't surprise me if LA arrested Psycho Stu.
Yeah, right. And you weren't the first one to say that too. Some people have come forward and said that when the police did show up to the event, after he already left, of course, but they were actually interviewing fans and interviewing wrestlers, and they said that they were taking this seriously, but they had to make sure what the fans thought they saw was part of a show or part of a legitimate, screw up where this guy just took advantage.
The officers can only do so much. When it goes up to those weak ass, liberal, criminal loving DAs out there, the officers can only do so much. Detectives can only do so much. If they don't indict, they don't indict. There's nothing that can be done. And I know a lot of officers out there, just because I'm from around out in Cali, if they had the money, they would leave, but they don't.
So
I say now, an option would still be for Psycho Sue to have a personal lawsuit, though.
Yeah, they could do civil all every day of the week. Will he? Don't know.
So
I would guess probably not, because Rampage will probably just here's some money, let it go away.
So the last thing that I heard about Stu himself was that they were actually trying to keep all the details away from him because since he was unconscious, he doesn't remember a lot of what happened. And like, I don't know if it's his wife or his girlfriend or whatever, but she's keeping his cell phone away, keeping the news off the TV because they said some with his condition, being unconscious, not remembering, already having PSD. Not is it PSD? Is that right?
PSD,
Yeah.
post-traumatic stress syndrome.
From being a war, going to war for us, being military, that they don't want him to have not flashbacks, but to really think about what happened, and for it to cause him more stress, that they're trying to keep him, relaxed and trying to heal himself and everything like that. So I don't know. Still, I would think the cops would have fucking interviewed the kid by now. That to me, that's just crazy that they haven't even gone that far.
Well, when you have weak little voters that vote in liberal communist, like we're out there in California, that's what's going to happen. Yes, communism sucks, and I don't care if they say it's Americanized, it sucks anyway.
Okay, so the next topic is Monday Night Raw. Now, before we go into it, I posted this earlier today. And this is just me on my personal Facebook. Is it me or is WWE having a hard time creating storylines for all their superstars? Last night, of course, yesterday was Monday. Of course, we're filming this on Tuesday. You guys will see this on Thursday. I said last night's Raw was just a fast forward kind of a show. And multiple people hit on this and was talking about it, but I wanted to read one that I hands down thought it was the best comment. And this comes from a mutual friend of ours, James Barrett. There's no defining characters. There's no bad guys. There's no good guys. The crowd sings along to the heel songs. The crowd sings along to the faces songs. The heels pander to the audience just as much as the faces. Yeah, I've been half in on it a lot lately. It's definitely not a must-see TV. And I think that comment hits it pretty much on the head for last night's Monday Night Raw. We've been talking about how Raw has been starting off with promos after promos, not starting off with a match. Not even like 5 minutes in does a match start. Last night, it was about the 20-minute mark before a match actually started on Raw, just because they were doing promos trying to get ready for this WrestlePalooza pay-per-view that's coming up this weekend. Now, there's only two takeaways that I took away from Raw last night. One, the Uso brothers rejoined together, so they for the longest time they were fighting each other, and then Jey Uso became so much more popular and even became a world champion, and Jimmy Uso's been kind of like not there. He transferred over to SmackDown, not really doing a whole bunch over there, but they've got back together, so now at least there's a glimmer, maybe a hope that a tag team division might actually start popping back up, with the Jey Usos, forming a team again. And immediately, as soon as I seen that, I said, well, that means they're going to go against Bronson Reed, and they're going to go against Braun Breaker, because truly right now that's the only two heels that are tagging with each other and been tagging here lately. So immediately that was going to be the match, at um, for WrestlePalooza. It's going to be those guys. The other takeaway was AJ Lee came back. Of course, she is the wife to CM Punk. So they're actually going to do a story where AJ and CM Punk are going to go against Seth Rollins and his wife Becky. Was it Becky Lynch? That's her last name, right? Did I get that right? So it's been about 10 years since we've seen AJ Lee, and everyone was, that was like the talk of the town. AJ Lee's back. AJ Lee's back, and they actually came back this past Friday. They just did more of a bigger promo about their wrestling match at WrestlePalooza this coming up weekend yesterday. And Matt, speaking of last Friday, on Friday Night SmackDown, Brock Lesnar came back and pretty much beat the crap out of John Cena, which, of course, that's going to be the main event for WrestlePalooza. It's going to be Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. But everyone was more talking about AJ Lee coming back than Brock Lesnar being there. Or for the fact
Lesnar
that
also beat the crap out of Sami Zayn, so why isn't it a triple threat?
That's a good question. Because
they
Sami
can't get a
Zayn
story.
finally got gold, and you would think that would be the only gold defended in the match. You would think, since John Cena, lost the belt back to Cody, so there's not even a belt in the mix between Brock Lesnar and John Cena. But that was John Cena's last Friday Night SmackDown. As a matter of fact, his date's coming closer and closer to the end because December 13th, it was announced is going to be his last show, and that's going to be on a Saturday night's main event. And that's going to be out of Washington, D.C. So it's kind of interesting that John Cena's last match is not even going to be on a pay-per-view. It's just going to be on I guess Saturday night's main event is probably going to be on Peacock, I would imagine now, because they pulled it from NBC. So I imagine you actually have to go, or it could be on Netflix, one of the two, but it's not going to be on NBC Live like they have been here lately. But yeah, those are the only two things. Bobby, did you watch Raw last night? Yeah, like I said,
it's crazy time. My boy plays JV football on Monday nights now. So that takes up a lot of time.
That was probably a better showing than Raw. So,
I just want to say something. They're having all these problems with just storylines. They're having all the problems with getting anything that people even see as interesting. But their ticket prices for WrestlePalooza are still averaging between $8,000 and $9,000 on average. The nosebleeds are $226, and people are paying the prices to see an hour and a half of commercials with wrestling that isn't really skillful anymore. Where the wrestling, they just stand at each other, hit each other every now and then stare at each other again and talk.
Well, see, I think right now people can't justify, but they are justifying because, it's last time to see Cena. Well, we'll see how much those continue to sell out after December 13th.
Right. And Nate, you bring up a good point, because here lately the pay-per-views have only been 5 matches, maybe 6 tops, where it used to be, I heard Shawn Michaels was on, not a podcast, but he was on, he was being interviewed in front of a live crowd, and they were talking about his match with The Undertaker, and one of his last matches, and it was at a WrestleMania, and they were talking about how they weren't the main event that night, and when they were sat down and told what spot they had, and it was The Undertaker that asked, well, where are we at if we're not the main event? And the guy told him, well, you're in the 5th spot. And so the Undertaker goes, "So we're mid carders?" And because a lot of wrestlers will tell you, they either want to be the very first match or the last match. The first match to pop the crowd, get the crowd going, and then be able to, clean up and leave early, or be the main event. So you tear the house down. You're the last match that the people remember, and you're either going to send them home happy or send them home, pissed off at you, depending on who you are. And now, so to finish the conversation, the Undertaker goes, "Well, how many matches are there on the card?" And the guy goes, 11. So they go from 11 matches. And this is back when WrestleMania was just one night. It wasn't a 2-night thing. And he goes, so just a comparison, 11 matches on a pay-per-view down to 5 or 6. Which is, to me, is crazy, and the prices are skyrocketing higher. But I do want to add in that the Undertaker said, "Well, guess what? WrestleMania, the main event is going to be match number 5." And that particular WrestleMania, yeah, they had a standing ovation after that match. It was the big one where, I think it was the Undertaker retired Shawn Michaels that night. And they went in the back.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm not great at remembering dates and like everything that's on a card, but I can tell you I remember that match.
Yeah. And Triple H's match was up next. And as the Undertaker went to the back, Triple H looked at the Undertaker and said, "Fuck you." How the fuck am I supposed to follow that? But it's something how pay-per-view used to be 10, 11 matches, and now you can barely get 5 or 6. I do want to point out one other guy. Our good friend who was on a podcast, Evan Ginsberg, of course, he's the producer of Mickey Rourke's movie, The Wrestler. He posted, "As long as it's more about endless promos, entrances, sing-alongs, soul-killing commercials, why even bother with it? Do they have even a dozen truly great matches on Raw in a course of a year? Not that I can remember such a great match that I can pinpoint from a Monday Night Raw." So even our good friend Evan is in the same, behind the same theory that we are, that WWE is a little wacky right now.
At one point, there were times where the fans and the pundits like us couldn't predict the way the match was going to go before it happened. Now you can predict it 6 months out and be right.
Well, and they're throwing the same matches, like Rusev versus Sheamus. I mean, we've seen this match damn near 7 times, 8 times now, and it used to be a highlight. It used to be a highlight back in the day, and they would put a lot more attention on something like that and call it who can actually get the best of 7. And there were some great matches. I remember Booker T. I think Chris Benoit did a best of 7. I know Chris Jericho talks about that he was doing a skit where it was the best of 7. And but literally, we've seen that match on almost every damn Raw here lately. And now Sheamus is out. But they even talked about how Sami Zayn, I think, is either in a match with Rusev at WrestlePalooza, and they're already saying, "Oh well, Rusev is going to win the match, and then Sheamus is going to come back, and then they're going to fight over the belt now." They had these 7 matches where nothing was on the line, but now Rusev is going to get the belt, so we're going to get that same fucking match all over again, and this time they're going to fight over the belt for it.
They're going to do a best of 17 this time.
Best of 17. and I hate to say it, it's almost the same thing with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. They've been in basically the same matches over the last few months, and they really they got so many wrestlers And this is going to lead into the next story. They got so many wrestlers that they don't know what to do with all of them, which is a bad thing and a good thing all at the same time. Yes, the wrestlers got a job and they do get guaranteed pay now. So if they're on TV or not on TV, they're making the same amount of money regardless. But AJ Styles last night on Monday Night Raw, um, some people filmed it. It was during a commercial break. AJ had the mic and he gave a promo, and then they went to commercial. And he got back on the mic, and let me see if I think I wrote down the exact quote. It doesn't, he goes, I'm going to be real with you guys. We're on a commercial break, so the audience at home will not hear this. But he talks about the people that he's been wrestling lately. It's been really just thrown together. And he says, it seems like someone in the back doesn't want me to be here anymore and doesn't want me to win. And then he went on about saying all of his friends have been fired or let go, and he's the last one. And it doesn't seem like they know what they're doing with him. And it seems like they almost want to push him out. Now, he just recently signed an extension. It's been known that he's come out and said he's 48. He wants to be retired by 50. So he's only got 2 more years to do this. And he was actually going to retire before this extension. But something must have happened. They must have threw a lot of money at him or something. So he signed an extension. So he's going to be with WWE until at least February of 2026. So, roughly a half a year, maybe 6 months, maybe the extension is covering. But very interesting because some people recorded and it's now hitting, TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff. Is this legit? Is this a storyline or what's going on? Is he pissed off at Triple H? So no one really knows. No one's really explained the promo. But honestly, he's been fighting the same, group of people, Dominic Mysterio for forever lately. But AJ, just recently popped up in TNA when they had Slammiversary. He was a multiple time title holder in TNA. He was known as the face of TNA for the longest time until they too wanted. He talks about it how, after Hogan and Eric Bischoff and all the money hungry guys hit TNA, and then they went off and left TNA. It left TNA pretty much go bankrupt, and they wanted AJ Styles to work the same amount of dates for like a third of the pay, and that's when he finally decided I need to leave, and that's when he went to New Japan and reinvented his whole career, and then eventually came to WWE. But there was some talks that he said that he had actually talked to other promotions about potentially going to work there until he signed this extension. But who knows? It could be a work. It could be them working us with this promo. But I guess we'll soon see. I sent out a picture of a toy. If you can pull that up. So this is another guy that we talked about, Karrion Kross. We've been talking about him because we didn't know if we were being worked by WWE about letting him go or not. Well, he just signed on with Matt Cardona's toy line, the big rubber guys. I've got some of them displayed right behind me. And that's an independent toy line. And that pretty much seals the deal, saying that he is no longer with the WWE because WWE would be all over him, getting a toy, action figure through them, and they would block them, him signing to another company to where they think they're losing money. So this right here Matt Cardona coming out saying, "Hey, we signed him. This is what his action figure is going to look like." This much, pretty much, just seals the deal that it wasn't a hoax. WWE did let him and his wife Scarlett go, and currently they've been working at GCW, which some people thought, well, this still could be a hoax because GCW kind of has a working relationship with the WWE, but he is now also taking other bookings for other promotions. So with this coming out over the weekend, it pretty much seals the deal that it wasn't a hoax. He's done with the company. He also talks about how he doesn't hold any grudges with them. He just wishes they and hopes that they realize what they lost, which is true. He, I think, was finally getting his groove there. The fans were behind him, and that's when they let him go. So they kind of missed the boot with that one. What else? What else did I send you? Yes. So again, November 15th, us from the Squared Ring podcast, we are going to be special guests and kind of hosts, because we're going to do a whole bunch of interviews with the people that are going to be there. Fans will probably interview you guys. We'll interview some of the guys selling their toys and at this Comic-Con/fest. But this is the newest version of the flyer. They added another lady, and I told you guys last week that they weren't done. This lady, Emily, I can't read that small print, so I know I wrote her name down. Yeah, so they added her, and through Nathan's news reporting skills, we found out that because it says voice actor, so that doesn't tell me what she voice acting. But so she does. Would you say Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon?
Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon.
And
Well, which characters?
He didn't do that good of a search.
No, I did that good of a search. Just it was before we went on the air.
Yeah, so November 15th, the address is right there, Fifi Street. You can come meet the voice actress. You're going to meet the artist from the Amazing Spider-Man and the Dracula comic book. Of course, Nasty Nate, Bobby D, and I myself will be there. We're going to do a live podcast there.
Dawn and Cynthia. Yu-Gi-Oh, she does Zuzu. Officer Jenny. Matori. Selena. She does a lot.
Yeah, sounds like it. So yeah, going to be a good show. If you collect comic books, you can come there and get the autographs on the comic books. If you're a toy collector like myself, you can come there and buy some toys. The last year's show was the first time I bought Street Sharks, and now I'm kind of hunting some of those down. Also bought my first Gargoyles there, which is pretty cool toy line as well.
Can you say gargoyles again, boys?
Yep, Gargoyles. Bill Reinhold's going to be there. He did The Amazing Spider-Man. Lisa Lessman's going to be there. She did The Tomb of Dracula, which I like horror comics. So yeah, I know when we talk to her, I'll be looking at what she has.
Yeah, so definitely it should be a good time. Like I said last year, I wish I should have done a little research on my end because there's a Star Wars troop that's like in the Midwest. It's for Star Wars, but it's just
I think they're the 905 or 902s or whatever they are. They do a lot of charity events.
Yeah, and these guys put, it reminds me of like back in the day, my parents used to take me to, there was Fort Charters, and they would do, not rehearsals, but they would reenact the war that happened there. And that's what they basically do. They, they put a lot of money into their outfits, and so they
And they have to be canonically correct. If not, they won't let you wear them. They kick you out. But it's the 501st Legions, so
and
they're going to be.
a little trivia on that too. The last couple Star Wars shows, um, they actually didn't have enough outfits for some of the actors, so they actually called upon them, and they were special guests on these episodes of Star Wars because they had their own suit, their own outfit, and everything like that. So they actually played a role in some of the TV series that we watched the last couple of years. So it's kind of cool. They're going to be there. Like I said, they had some superheroes last time. They had a Batman and a Batmobile there. So very cool. Should be a great day. If we talked about Serenity is big. My granddaughter is big into Pokemon, so she is going to be up in that girl's line, trying to get an autograph from her on her Pokemon stuff. So it should be a great day of collecting toys, collecting comic books. Great day to meet Bobby D and Nasty Nate, and so yeah, should be a great time. But let's see. I think that's the last of it, right?
Unless you guys have some toys.
Oh, well, of course I do. Bobby, do you have anything?
I do have one.
Perfect. What do you got? I always like you to go first.
Well, it was in hopes that he's going to his help will make it. But I got the 1993 Survivor Series Bushwhacker Luke dressed as Doink the Clown.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
I actually thought about buying that for this event as well. And it was one of those things I thought about it. And then the other day I forgot, and I totally haven't thought about it since. But very
It just
cool.
came in the mail today.
Oh, that is awesome. All right. So I follow a lot of toy collectors, a lot of wrestling toy collectors, and
Well,
a lot of them.
Did you see what the last Hulk Hogan just went for?
No.
An autograph? Over 10
Oh, it was
grand.
on his rookie card.
Yeah.
I did see that. Yeah, kind of crazy. That particular, well, it's not that rookie card. So there's two cards that people consider Hulk Hogan's rookie. Actually, I guess you would say three, because in all honesty, the Japanese card that comes in his action figure over there, which is the very first toy line of wrestlers. Each toy came with a card in the package. So a lot of people say that's his rookie card. A lot of people say there's one where he's wearing he's holding the title belt, and they said that's his rookie card. But also back in the 80s, there was a card company that it didn't matter what organization you were from, they did cards of you. And I got Bruiser Brody's card from that set. But that set is like the most valuable wrestling card set around. And that's the card in that set is what sold for that amount of money, which is just crazy. But right now, Hulk Hogan is still hot. So everything of his is, like I said on the last podcast, if you're looking for Hulk Hogan stuff right now, this is the wrong time to be looking. Maybe a year from now, when the craze is over, start shopping then. But right now, because I had the hardest time trying to find a Hulk Hogan for my Superstars line, and I finally found one, and it actually got delivered today. And I'm going to open that up for you guys. But I had to buy him loose. Yeah, I had to buy him loose, so he's already out of the package and everything. But what a lot of toy guys are saying that you should hit up your local Ross, and mainly if you're an AEW guy. And I'm really not. I'm not an AEW guy because I don't follow their product on TV. But I will say when they come to town, I'm there. I think I've only missed one of their shows that they came to St. Louis for, because I've said it before, they still have a good product, but their tickets are normal prices. You can still get your family of four to go to an AEW show and not spend, not have to take out a loan to do it.
But
So
what? I've never been inside of one, but I thought Ross was just a clothing store. Why are they selling wrestling figures?
so they actually sell a bunch of toys. They are like, I guess they picked up, Big Lots closed. Big Lots was like the overstock store. So anything in overstock, whether it be toys or clothes or whatever, they are now selling. And it's at dramatic discounted prices. So let me just show you what I got.
Oh, yeah.
So look at this. This is Samoa Joe. You see that fucking price?
$3.
$2.99. That's what their figures, all these figures have cost. $2.99. Now, these same figures are selling at Walmart, not this particular Samoa Joe, but they're $19.99.
So did you
So
just walk in and say yes to everything?
pretty much. So I bought a Samoa Joe for $2.99. I bought a Chris Jericho for $2.99. I bought a Chase, a Chase figures where they changed something up that's different on the original one. This is the Chase. I bought the original one there too. Let me grab that one. So the original one, now this is MJF, but this is the devil version of MJF. MJF got hurt, was on the shelf for a while, and then all of a sudden this guy started appearing, started attacking people backstage. He was wearing this mask. Everyone thought, "Oh, who is this guy? Could this be MJF? Could this be?" There was a bunch of people on the shelf, so they thought, they just started naming people. It turned out to be MJF. So this is the original figure, and then this is the Chase, where they actually show his head, but down here in the bottom, they have the devil mask, as they call it, to where you can swap them out. So this is one of 5,000, but this is the regular figure. But both of them, $2.99 a piece.
One of 5,000 for $2.99. Bobby, why aren't you then? You need to get your curio cabinet going.
And then Ethan Page. Now, Ethan Page is now with WWE, but Ethan Page has been, he was on the local scene forever. He used to wrestle in St. Louis all the time for Glory Pro. But even when he was signed to AEW, he still would come to St. Louis and wrestle for Glory Pro. So he's definitely been around the neighborhood. And that was not his first figure, because I think Matt Cardona's Big Rubber guys actually put out an Ethan Page first before anyone. But now he's got he's got two WWE figures that literally just came out this year. And actually just came out at San Diego Comic-Con, which I think was a couple months ago. So very cool pickup. That was 6 figures, $2.99 a piece. Those figures right there, 6 of them, pretty much will cost you 1 figure at Walmart. So not a bad deal. Not too sure what I'll do with them yet, because like I said, I'm not a really big AEW guy. But if you think about it, everyone but the MJF either used to work for WWE or Ethan Page now works for WWE. So kind of crazy there. So before I show you this Hulk Hogan, this back in the 80s, after WWF moved on from their Big Rubber guys, for some strange reason, the name is escaping me, LJNs. So when they were doing these, after they went to those, they switched to what they call Hasbros, which is went from a hard rubber to a small plastic. So these are the Hasbros. This is actual crush. But as a kid, growing up, I had some LJNs, but a lot of my collection growing up was Hasbro's because I'm not that old. Shut up, Bobby. But Hasbro's had two big figures. They had an Ultimate Warrior and they had a Hulk Hogan. But those are the only two that they did. And they got pull strings, got voice. Well, that one sounded horrible. Normally, the Hulk Hogan sounds better. He's got 24-inch. What? You can't tell. But Ultimate Warrior is totally blown. His voice box is gone. But I always love the look of these. These are big, and they're very displayable. Well, an independent toy company put out their version, and they've only done a Macho Man Randy Savage, and now they're currently doing an Andre the Giant. And I ordered, it was a pre-order, I ordered the Macho Man Randy Savage. So this just came in like 2 days ago. It is the same size as the Ultimate Warrior and the Hulk Hogan. So if they fit perfect together, he does not have a voice box or anything like that. They're actually talking about maybe doing a series 2 and actually putting a voice box in so they will actually, compete with each other or, match up with each other. But this freaking Macho Man is fucking sweet. He's got the veins popping out in his arms. This is a
Actually
classic
looks like him.
pose. And it's got Macho Man on the back. His arms and legs don't move, but he does move at the torso, kind of like how these guys do as well. So it very much complements the Hasbro's. I think these are called 14 or 15-inch Hasbro's. But like I said, they only did two back in the day, Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. So it was very cool to get this one. And the Andre the Giant, and I don't even know if I said the name of the company. Latuni is the name of the company. So Latuni did this one and did Andre the Giant, and Andre the Giant is taller than Macho Man, so it's more realistic because that Andre the Giant is going to be taller than Hulk Hogan and taller than the Ultimate Warrior, which in real life he was. So I think it's very cool how they are just keeping, like, everything's going back to retro. The superstars that I collect, they're mainly all retro wrestlers back in the 80s, I think Cody Rhodes is the newest one, and that's only because they did it with a 2-pack with Dusty. So in order to get the Dusty Rhodes, you had to buy the Cody, basically. That's how I see it. But all these independent toy companies are going back to the 80s, going back to wrestlers that they grew up with. And this Macho Man is freaking fantastic. So I was very happy to get that one. So now, like I said, I bought, and this kind of worries me because it's crushed a bit. I bought a Chase Hulk Hogan off of eBay. So I have the regular version. I only need one more figure to complete this whole line. And it's a Razor Ramon Chase, which eBay doesn't even sell. No one on eBay is selling this figure. So I don't know how I'm going to get my hands on it. All right. So normally I shout out on my own videos on eBay guys, or even when you buy off of Facebook, and they ship it to you, or even Amazon. Because I bitched about an Amazon purchase that I had, that the box was crushed. Well, the box actually came to the house in perfect condition, but the figure inside the box was crushed. And I wanted that motherfucker to be mint. And it just killed me that Amazon gave me this pristine freaking outer shell, but crushed the box of the figure that was in the box. I'm not going to shout out this guy because clearly he didn't put enough shit in there. So hopefully, I mean, thank God, it didn't probably fuck up the figure because the box was crushed. But so when you think Hulk Hogan, you think yellow and red. So what made this one such a chase is they put him in blue, which back in the day, the only real time that you seen him in blue was when he was in the movie, um, No Hose Barred. He came out in blue trunks. Um, but so this is the Chase Hulk Hogan. He's in blue trunks, blue boots, white knee pads. He's got white wrist tape on it. Uh, they both figures come with this weight belt and this gold chain, and they both come with a red jumpsuit or workout pants and shirt. And I have the red and white, I mean the red and yellow one in this. So this one is going to be displayed just like this because I want to show off that it is the Chase. Because if he's got all this red stuff on, the only way you can tell is to look down on his boots. But this guy was
You
so
got the
hard.
hairline right too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I dog. I mean, Mattel makes these, and they make the regular figures too. And Mattel has been horrible on Hulk Hogan. The NWO 3-pack that just came out looks like dog shit. Hulk Hogan's face. I mean, they got his body size right with a small head, and it just makes the figure look horrible. But yeah, this figure is right on the money. They did make from that same movie. Let's see if he's close enough.
Don't you have a Thunder Lips?
I do have the Thunderlips, the original.
Different movie though.
Yeah, different movie. But this is Zeus, and he was from No Hose Bar. So I think it's very cool that they made a Hogan to go with Zeus, uh, which is the blue version. Because again, the red and the yellow, that's our normal Hulk Hogan. But with blue, was it only in that movie? So these two are going to be displayed right next to each other, so it kind of shows off the movie. And they've been doing this pairing for a while. They came out with a 2-box set that you had to buy them together of the regular size Mattel wrestling figures. One was Zeus, one was Hulk Hogan. And the only thing they could have done to make this one better is in that movie, he wore a white T-shirt with blue letters that said "Rip It," because his name was Rip in that movie. So they could have, and that's my only critique, because I think the blue really pops with Hogan, especially since you're so used to seeing him in yellow and red. But they should have gave him a shirt that said "Rip him" on it, and then that would have been perfect for this toy line. You know what? I did get one last week. This is the Chase Jake the Snake.
Does that
The
snake
red,
glow in the dark?
it looks like it, but I don't know. I never kept it out in the sunlight or in the light too long just to see. But the regular Jake the Snake has green pants, but this one has the white pants, and the boots are like a blood. I don't know, kind of like a brownish red. I like to call them like a blood red. Very cool figure. This one was another hard one to get. Um, it came out this year. I didn't know about it because I was so focused on getting that Great Muta, that Chase one, that I went to 2 Walmarts when they opened up the shipper, and I was just focused on that clear Cena and focused on that Great Muta. Of course, I came up empty-handed on the Great Muta, but I was able to find 2 of those clear Cenas. I didn't even think about looking for a Jake the Snake chase because it's very rare that they have 2 chases in the same series for the same year. Because each year is a different series. Like we're on series 14 right now, I think. And Demolition is coming out in series 15 or 16, one of the two. But they haven't come out yet. So as of right now, I only need one more figure, and that's that Razor Ramon Chase. And then I'll have every single Superstars wrestling figure, which would be the only line that I would have completed, except for the Bindham's LJNs. They're about half that size of those guys right there. I do have all of them. But I've already said that these LJNs, the ones that I need now, they're anywhere from $400 to $500 loose in shitty condition. If you want them in better condition, you're going to spend about $1,000, and I'm not going to do that. So hopefully I can find a yard sale where someone doesn't know what they have, and I can buy them off of them. But that is the end of all my toys that I picked up this week. So very cool Ross pickup. Very cool independent toy company, Latuni. Man, there's so many great independent toy companies out there, and they're doing really good stuff. I mean, I can't tell you, give them enough props of how cool this one is. And there's not going to be a whole lot of them because these independent toy companies can't mass produce this stuff like Mattel does for WWE. I mean, even the big rubber guys, Matt Cardona, can't produce like the Mattel does or like Hasbro does for G.I. Joe. So a lot less of them around. So it just means it's cooler when you're the one that picks them up. But that's it. That's all the toys I got for you this week. Just a very cool toy group that I picked up. So I'm happy. I'm pleased. And then you'll probably see some of this, maybe the AEWs at Sandoval this weekend. If you come, I might decide to sell some of these because I've already got some stuff on Facebook that I figure I need to just strictly work on the toy lines that I grew up with. I think I showed off the Biker Mice from Mars and.
Well, you said Sandoval. Are you meaning the 15th of November, or are you talking about this weekend you're bringing stuff?
This weekend, because here lately at every wrestling show, I've been bringing my overstock of my wrestlers, and a lot of people have been picking them up because it's my overstock. So it's the LJNs that I have 2 of. So it's figures that you can't go out to the store and buy. It's my Hasbros that I have 2 of. So and then I do buy. I had this sweet little girl ask me if I would pick up some girl wrestlers for her. I don't know why she can't, get her mom to do it or whatever, but so 2 months in a row I didn't bring any. So I've got some for her just set aside that if she wants them, she can pick them up for me. So it's very cool. Bobby is going to start bringing some of his stuff like he had talked about to try, to me, it just helps me out because I'm always trying to upgrade my stuff. So if I have a Hulk Hogan and then I get one that doesn't have scuff marks and stuff, I'm going to keep that one and sell the other one and try to make up the money that I just spent to get the newer one. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a cool way to keep my cost down and still upgrading my collection, if that makes sense. But very cool week. Sandoval this Saturday. All the All-Stars from SICW is going to be there. We're on the road. We got another. I wish I had my book in front of me because I have all the dates written down. But I know we're coming to Troy, Illinois. We're coming back to Fairmont City. We're going back to the racetrack at the end of this month on the 27th. SICW, this is always been our busiest time of year, right before Christmas time. And then we take a nice little Christmas break. But we are booking it until mid-November. So it's going to be interesting. Just keep on sicw.org for all the live updates. I'm sure Nate will have the updates too when we post them here. Anything else from you guys this week?
I don't think so.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. If you are still here, I know this podcast went a little long today, but great information because there was a lot of feedback to the stories that we spoke about last week, a lot of updates. But like always, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hit that little icon and definitely give us a share because we are a small YouTube channel and it might not make a big difference when you're following like a channel like WWE on YouTube. But it does make a great difference when you subscribe to a local channel or a smaller channel as our actual name is, a smaller channel. It makes up a lot of difference. So please like, subscribe, and share. That way, if you like this content, other people, I'm sure, will like this content as well. And we would love to reach the masses. If we don't see you at the Comic-Con November 15th or at Sandoval this weekend, I'm sure we'll see you. We'll see everyone at the wrestling shows. All right, you guys have a good night, and we'll see you this weekend.
Yeah.
Adios.
Peace.